Welcome to a sports betting podcast from pregame.com for the week of December 31st, 2009. I'm your host, RJ Bell, joined by Vegas runner, TV star, genuine Las Vegas professional bettor, Marco D'Angelo, star of the buffets, and in Vegas, and 30 years in the business. This is segment 5 of 6, big game preview, Sunday Night Football, Jets, Bengals. Vegas runner, tell us about the line in the game.
All right, this one's a wild one. Jets opened as a 7-point home favorite with a total of 37.5. As of today, the Jets are minus 10, and the total's down to 35. So definite wise guy money on the Jets.
Now let's think about this a second, because we talked about it in an earlier segment, specifically in the Florida-Cincinnati. There's 3 reasons the line moves. True position, they really like it. They're setting themselves up for a buyback because they think they know the way the public's going to bet. Or information, injuries, player rotation. So do we have a sense, did this line move on bets or did it move on air?
This one moved on bets because it moved again late. That was the key. It moved right when it opened. It went from 7 to 8, then 8 to 9, and that's where it settled. But then they came back Monday night and hit it again at minus 9. That went up to 9.5, then the 10. So, I mean, it got hit at different intervals. It wasn't like the sportsbook trying to stay ahead of the wise guys. It was the wise guys staying ahead of the market in this case.
And that's inside stuff that's very valuable. Now, I look at this Week 17 stuff almost like the preseason.
Yeah.
Is you got to try to interpret, and really preseason is a very beatable time, is who's going to be motivated. We talked about this on Today in Sports Betting again that I did on Monday, is if the team is bad, okay, and that's not pertinent here, but let's apply it to all the NFL games this week. The question is, which way is the momentum going? I look at the Browns, and I'm thinking this team's going to play. This team's going to play in Week 17. They got some momentum. Now, other teams have no momentum. Or other teams, like specifically the Dolphins, went from having a good chance of the playoffs of completely, and this follows your theory, the game after their biggest disappointment when their season goal is extinguished, I guess, is the worst game for a team. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, they're still mathematically alive, believe it or not, the Dolphins.
Well, I mean, I don't think an 8-8 team is going to make the playoffs. So, I mean, maybe so, but I mean, I think in their head they left it on the table. So now that segues into Marco. And usually, I just ask what you think of this game. I'm going to ask you a specific question. Where's the motivation at here?
Well, obviously, the motivation's all for the Jets. The Jets have to win. The Jets win, and they're in. That's the simplest of the playoff scenarios.
Well, Baltimore wins, they're in too.
Baltimore is, well, yeah.
Yeah, Jets and Baltimore control their own destiny.
They control their own destiny. The problem with, and we talked about this at length in VR in my video we do each week, this week in Vegas, about the last week of NFL handicapping. So you might want to check that out for a little more in-depth look.
You can get all of our videos at pregame.tv. This week in Vegas, they do each week. It's become very popular. But additionally, you've been doing 1 or 2 extra free pick videos, just you and the camera.
Just me and the camera, this mug here. And, we're 14-4 here on the show. On Inside the Line.
So you're 14-4.
14-4 with my plays. Inside the Line, which I don't duplicate the plays. 9-2 run with those. So
and you're hot with your late stuff.
Well, thanks for the promo. 5-0 this week and 6-1 in football, and on a 22-9 run overall last 13 days.
All right. So motivationally, it's clear the Jets want to win. Here's what I question. Unless I'm mistaken. In fact, I know I'm not mistaken. Cincinnati, New England, the 3rd and 4th seed are up for grabs this week. So my question is, the 3rd seed's going to have to play or not play Indy in round 2 if they win. Right. The 4th seed would. You got to think that a team doesn't want to go to Indy in round 2. So why wouldn't Cincy be as motivated as any game?
Well, they would be, but here's the thing. New England plays earlier, and New England has the tiebreaker. So if New England wins early, this doesn't matter for Cincinnati. So in most likely, that's going to be the scenario that plays out. And I think that's why once Vegas realized what the playoff scenarios were in the seedings,
You think they put the number out before they realized that?
Well, Offshore jumped the line early, like VR said, but the M here in Vegas, which is known for posting the first line on the strip, had this game at 9.5 when they opened it.
But they opened later.
They opened on Sunday. I mean, I grabbed the sheet Sunday at normal time, and it was 9.5.
So that's a takeaway that's worth the entire video. So let's just reiterate that a minute. That if New England loses or wins early on Sunday, they lock up the 3 seed. This becomes a meaningless game.
And this line climbs even higher.
Right.
If New England loses, Cincy can win for the 3rd seed, and now all of a sudden, so literally...
And you'll see this line come down.
I don't think the line would climb high. I think the line is at its max point right now.
So you think the line's assuming New England wins?
Yeah.
All right, so that means there's got to be value on Cincy because there's certainly a chance New England's going to not win.
There is. Any way you look at it, that's what surprised me that the wise guys laid this number. According to the LVSC's odds makers poll, on a neutral field, Cincinnati's 4 points better than the Jets. So this game should be about a pick-em at the most.
And we talk about this a lot, and I'm sorry to interrupt, is... You only have an advantage if you know something the public doesn't know. And everyone knows the Jets have to win.
And that's why it's climbed.
The USA Today bettors are walking to the window and betting on the must-win team. I think there's almost always value going against the must-win teams.
Absolutely. I actually made the statement, and there was a lot of conversation in the forums this week about, because last week a lot of the teams that were in must-wins did roll last week. The public just wants to jump on those teams. And I said, if you bet all of those teams blindly, you're going to get carried out on a stretcher. And I said, I'll book anybody that wants to bet all of those games blindly.
With that said, you could pick your spots. And, I mean, I looking at what the sharp money's done in this game, I could see this being one of them games that Cincinnati allows to get away from them.
Well, we don't know what Cincinnati's going to do because this is such a weird position for them.
The talk that I'm hearing is they want 0 injuries. Their goal for this game is 0 casualties. And when you talk like that about a game, you're already stressing. We do not care about this game.
I don't think the line goes over 10. So if I wanted to hedge a position, I would bet Cincinnati now at plus 10, thinking that it's not going to go any higher. And if for some reason New England loses early, you can come back and lay the Jets at a smaller number because the line will drop if Cincy's got a reason to play.
Now, that's interesting, and I like that level of thinking, but there's another side to it, too, which is public money comes in the day of the game. This is a late game, so there's going to be a
Sunday night game.
When
there's going to be, but there's going to be tons and tons and tons and tons of teasers pending on the Jets down to minus.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if New England wins if this game goes up to 11 or 12.
I wouldn't either. I'll tell you the truth. At 7, I'm mad I didn't get down. I like the Jets in this game.
Okay, Marco, you got 60 seconds. We give a coupon away every week. $10, no obligation. Hit it.
Well, it's New Year, so New Year 10. Very simple. Get $10.
New Year, not plural.
Not
singular.
Plural. Singular. New Year 10. Go to the shopping cart, pick whatever you want, and you apply that coupon, you get $10 off.
It's at pregamepros.com. You get any pick you want, $10 off. At the shopping cart, you put in the coupon, and if the pick is $10 or less, you get it free, no obligation.
Absolutely.
All right, now I'm going to do a quick forum post on the idea of a correlated parlay about what we just talked about with New England and Cincy. So check that out at pregameforums.com. Next up, we're going to do our 6th and final segment. We're back in the colleges, Boise and TCU in the Fiesta Bowl. And remember, you can get all our videos at pregame.tv, or if you want to download and listen, just go to iTunes, search for pregame.com.